Sorry, no, I'm listening to you.
If Allah did have a son, would you worship him?
Allah doesn't have a son. I don't deal in hypotheticals.
But I've got a Quran verse to back it up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not claiming the Quran says he is a son.
Right.
I'm saying if.
No, but the Quran doesn't give that hypothetical either.
Quran 43:81 says, if the most merciful had a son, I will be the first of his worshippers. So it's claiming if he did have a son, he should be worshipped.
43:81.
So according to the Quran, the Son of God should be worshipped.
So I would normally agree with you that hypotheticals shouldn't be discussed because you get in some weird places when you do that. But if the Quran said it, then maybe it's a bit more valid.
So what's it trying to deny?
No, that's the thing.
Jesus is
No, see, look.
Well, it's denying something, isn't it?
No, but the thing is, you finish the verse. Finish the verse, right? He's actually giving you the hypothetical and saying it's not actually hypothetical in the same verse.
Can you read it? I'm not claiming it is. He's saying if.
Look, he says, قال إن كان للرحمن ولدا فإن الولد العبد. العبادي, okay?
No, I mean, I don't know what that means.
That's why I always say to Christians, if you want to critique the Quran, learn Arabic.
But do you not see why that in itself is very... Because how many people on this planet speak Arabic?
Yeah.
So now I have to believe in a religion that I can never fully understand, and 95% of the planet can never.
That's not true. I'm saying if you want to critique the
To
Quran...
believe in something, I have to be able to critique it. And I can't critique Islam.
No, you can't critique Islam.
You just said I can't.
No, you can't. No, I'm saying if you want to critique it like in detail, then yes, you do need the Arabic language, right?
Then really you should always learn Arabic before you become a Muslim.
But how are we all supposed to...
Well, if you want to know if it's true, right? You want to critique it to know if it's true. Sorry, go on, mate.
The English translations we read, are they translated by scholars?
Look, 43:82, it goes on and says, glorified is the Lord of the heavens and the earth, the Lord far above what they claim, right? So it's refuting it immediately.
Well, I don't think...
So this is the point is...
He still didn't answer my question. If Allah had a son, would you worship?
So he's saying it is a hypothetical? Like, he just give the answer. He just give the answer and say no, it isn't. But he's saying that he does introduce it as a hypothetical.
No, it's actually it's not a hypothetical. What is happening in this scenario, in this situation is show them that this is absurd.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So say to them,
Yeah.
if he had a son,
and that would be absurd.
I'd be the first to worship him. But this is an absurd claim.
But it's a hypothetical.
It's telling them to show them that their hypothetical is horrible.
Right, but he used a hypothetical to illustrate that.
To refute.
So is it fair then for him to ask, well, if Allah uses a hypothetical, can he ask a hypothetical?
No.
It's telling Muhammad to
say this.
say this, isn't it? Allah's telling Muhammad to say this, isn't it?
So he's saying to Muhammad sallallahu
if he did have a son, he should be worshipped.
So look at the previous.
Oh, so, well, I mean, Muhammad had no problem with hypotheticals as an argument.
Okay.
In which case, I think it's valid for you to ask it.
No, look at the way that Allah is
So the
addressing.
answer should be yes, you would worship.
So he actually starts. So he starts actually in.
Well, you're just going to say it's denying he's the son of God.
Yeah, which we know that.
We know Allah's denying he's got a son. That's why I said if.
So he actually starts in verse 74, right? So he says, "Indeed, the wicked will be in the torments of hellfire forever. It will be never lightened for them, and there they will be overwhelmed with despair. We did not wrong them, but it was they who were the wrongdoers."
Come on.
I was looking. I struggled to get this hadith where Muhammad said the sun sets under the muddy pool or whatever. I don't know the keyword. Do you know the keyword?
I probably don't either. But so you're going to a hadith about it, not the Quran about it.
No, not the Quran about
So you want
it.
the hadith? I don't know off the top of my head, I'm afraid.
The point here was just, you know how that muddy pool does not mean muddy pool. I said, what does the Prophet say by himself? He said, so I wanted to just show him that, shut him up, but
Can't find it. Yeah, you can never find it when you need it.
I tell you, man, it was frustrating.
Yeah, it can be. I think just go on Sunnah.com and try different. Yeah, and you tried it.
I tried Sunset. under the throne of Allah.
That doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Because I have some that are stored in a list that I have, but that's not one of them, so I can't get it that way.
I've been
But
storing them over the period.
But still use the hypothetical.
Even if I'm talking, I can't even pull down to look for it.
yeah, makes sense, man. No worries. So, God bless you, man.
He's mocking it through a hypothetical.
What? But I thought we agreed it was hypothetical.
You can't just say a hypothetical is when you
I
bring.
agree he's mocking
No,
it,
but
he's mocking it with
no,
a
but a hypothetical scenario is something that you would take seriously. Yes,
No?
yes.
Okay, I'll give you an example. If
Yeah.
someone says, I believe in a God,
No, because
and
then
I
that's an
use
argument.
a hypothetical to
No,
mock
because
them and
a
said,
hypothetical
if I
is just
believe
an
in the
argument.
flying
No,
spaghetti
no.
God in
No.
space, I've still used a hypothetical to mock them.
No, a hypothetical, right, is used in an argumentation. That's taken seriously. When
Where
you're
have you got
using
that?
when you're using a spaghetti monster, you're actually mocking someone.
But I've
you're
used
not.
a hypothetical.
No, you're not using a hypothetical. You're using something that you know is not true, right? That you know
that's-
for a fact.
Still fine though. You can still use something you know not true as hypothetical. That's fine.
No, because a hypothetical is something that can be true.
Well, to illustrate its point. So if he brings up the flying spaghetti monster, he doesn't believe in the flying spaghetti monster, but he's using it to illustrate
No,
a
see,
bigger
like-
picture. Yeah.
To successfully argue a hypothetical, you'd have to believe that the hypothetical is a possible outcome of some sort.
No,
how it
I
is.
don't think you do have to. It's to illustrate an idea. So, for example, in this case,
And,
if he did have a son,
No, a real
would you
idea.
worship
A
him?
real idea, not
So
something
that's
that
he's not saying that's true. He's just saying hypothetically, in another world, if that were the case, would you worship him? And given that Allah argues in that way with
No,
Muhammad,
he doesn't argue.
But
He's
he-
not arguing here at all. He's mocking your belief of this idea that God has a son. He's mocking it.
but that's-
the God of the heavens and the earth is mocking
wait,
this
I
belief.
agree that he's mocking it, but that doesn't mean he's not using a hypothetical. It seems quite clear. I don't know what. I would just accept he's using a hypothetical. Sometimes it's bad to argue for things
I
when
don't understand.
you.
Why is it you don't want to accept he's using a hypothetical?
Because it
What's-
doesn't fall under what a hypothetical is.
No.
Used in argumentation. Because the thing is, in the Quran,
What's the verse?
you're thinking it's been used as an argument, which it's
Say it
not.
again.
It's not being used as an argument.
I agree he's mocking.
Right, so it's not even an argument to be
Okay,
had.
but I don't see why a
hypotheticals are used in argumentation.
Okay, so right now for me to understand,
No,
where
but
have you got this idea?
No,
about
but this is the thing.
hypothetical?
Hypotheticals are used in argumentation.
Or just to make a point. Yeah.
No.
But wait, okay, so you're
When
saying
you make
where
a
are you
point,
getting?
when are you making a point? When are you making a point?
Okay.
Do you make a point just without an argument? No, you're making an argument.
Right. Murder. Well, yeah. To make a point. My
Right,
point
so
is
you're making
murder
a
is
point.
wrong. Hypothetically, if someone came and killed you, that would be
Right,
wrong.
see, but you're making
Murder
an
is wrong. That's a point.
but
I'm
you're
not arguing
making an
anymore.
argument. No, but your argument is that murder is wrong.
Yeah. Well, okay.
So that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
So
You have to
argument
understand-
is synonymous with
you have to
making a
understand
point.
what hypothetical is. The reason why I'm rejecting it as a hypothetical is because the context is not in the context of an argument. The context is in the context of mockery. And when it's just solely mockery without an argumentation, it cannot be called a hypothetical.
Okay, but I'm
because
asking where- so I wanna
a
understand
hypothetical scenario is presented in an argument.
And where does that
or
rule
a
come?
discussion.
Where have you got this idea about hypothetical? I'm actually interested in that. Where have you? Are you just saying this, or have you got that from somewhere? Do you
No,
have a
this is
definition?
just simple. This is just simply how it is
But simply how it is from where?
in terms of how people speak. When do people use hypothetical? Name me one time
You're
outside of
making a point.
one time outside of making an argument.
I just told you, and I'm
But
making.
you already wait.
Every
You
time someone makes a point,
Yeah.
you're doing it in an argument.
you
I'm
think
saying-
that
I'm
making
saying
a point
name me
is
one
an
time
argument? That's what you think.
I can use a hypothetical to
outside of an argument.
But you think an
Outside of
argument
an
is to make a point. Like if I
It's
get
always.
right, if I okay,
Because
well,
you
I'm not
wouldn't-
arguing
you
with
wouldn't-
anyone.
you
I'm just
wouldn't-
saying it.
No, but when I say argument,
Yeah.
obviously not like a aggressive argument. So just making your case. So if you
Right.
make your case, then you want to make a point, then you would use a hypothetical to make that point, right? So it's still within the context of making your argument or your position.
Your point,
I'm
just to make a point.
saying-
Yeah.
Give me an example of a hypothetical that is used outside of that. You won't be able to.
Right, but he is making a point here, right?
No, it's just mocking.
No, he's made a point. He's saying if I had a son, I would worship him.
No, it's not.
That is still a point.
No, he's mocking. It's
Okay,
not.
but he's mocking. But
No,
there's still
he's
a
not
point
making-
there,
he's not
right?
making a
Because the
point.
point is, he's saying if he did have a son, he would worship. That's still a point.
No, that's not the point. That's not the point. He's not claiming this at all.
Also, there's no problem with mockery. Like, you can make a point and use what's the word we've been using? This kind of way of doing it. Hypothetical. There's no problem with that.
What I said to you, because you're asking me how am I getting this idea of hypothetical, this is what I'm saying to you. If there was another way, what do you call it? Then you would be able to demonstrate.
With the spaghetti monster.
No, because you're still using that in the context of an argument. I'm saying use a hypothetical outside the context of an argument.
If I'm giving you a scenario, hypothetically, would you rather be the king of Mars, or would you rather own the Earth?
Yeah,
It's not an argument, I'm still giving you a hypothetical.
That's a good point, yeah.
so hypothetical like that.
But I just demonstrated it to
I think you're arguing for the sake of arguing, because I actually think you know this is a
I think you
hypothetical.
just realised then, because I just gave you.
I did. I didn't give an answer.
Is that a hypothetical, what I just said?
I wouldn't say so.
But
Just
Because it's not realistic. A hypothetical
how? Well, hypotheticals don't have to be realistic. Who said they had to be realistic?
they would have to be, yeah.
Why?
Because when they're not
Wait, so it's realistic
when
for Allah to have a son?
Because when they
Actually, yeah.
no,
Hold on.
well that's why I said they have to be realistic, right? Because when you're not given a realistic hypothetical, that's when it becomes mockery.
And who defines realistic? Your narrative.
No, which is what it's objective, right? It's objectively true.
So I'm
that you
saying,
can't.
how can you ever define a hypothetical then? Because what is
A hypothetical
realistic?
has to be possible
wait,
to be
wait.
used correctly.
You could be the king
To
of
be
Mars.
used, no, you can't.
Why not?
No, it doesn't have to be possible.
And it doesn't have to be realistic. I don't know
It's
where
not possible
that
for Allah to have a son.
It's not.
says-
Right.
It's not
So,
possible to follow
so you
that.
can use a hyper. Keep forgetting that word now.
Yeah, unrealistic hypothetical.
Yeah, you can, of course, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not.
Just say yes. It's a
No, I'm saying it's not
hypothetical.
The thing is, every time you try and say, "Oh, that I'm," using
I don't
it
know
in
where
that
you've got this idea that a hypothetical has to be realistic.
I don't know either. I've never heard that in my life.
If you're right, I'm willing to concede. I have not heard of this before because whenever in most cases, most hypotheticals I hear just aren't realistic.
but they're given in a sense of mockery. You're thinking of it as hypothetical because it's
where are you
if
getting
this,
that?
if that.
Where are you getting that hypotheticals can't be used in mockery?
Yeah. See, look, even what do you call it? A hypothetical proposition or statement, official. So basically, it's always used to make an argument. Always.
But he
Because look,
gave an example where it
because
wasn't an
the
argument.
definitions are in philosophy and logic.
Can we see
Right.
the definition?
So if you go, it's always under philosophy and logic.
Okay.
So you're actually always making an argument.
Okay, where does it say have to
it
be
doesn't fall
realistic?
into-
Well,
it doesn't
philosophy
fall into-
and logic
because
doesn't
when
mean an
you're-
argument,
because
like
when you're
in the sense of
discussing
like a
logic and
debate or
philosophy,
yeah.
You're making realistic arguments. You're not making made
That
up shit.
definition doesn't say it has to be realistic.
No, well, what is
And in
philosophy? Philosophy
I
and
would say
logic.
they use a lot of abstract concepts.
No, these
would have
abstract,
been
no,
deemed to be
abstract,
realistic.
no, these concepts are actually realistic. They actually give premises, right? That are plausible, right? And then they filter through it.
Where did you get the philosophy bit from?
No, it's just up there, isn't it? It's like see definitions of philosophy and logic. So it'll actually show you that click on philosophy
Right,
based
but
on a serving, so it gives you both.
we can also just use all.
Yeah, but that gives you just both, right?
Well, it gives based on serving as a hypothesis. Let us take a hypothetical case. Supposed but not necessarily real or true.
No, but when you're
what does it
using
say? Does it have to be-
But the definitions-
Supposed but not necessarily real or true.
There you go. So it doesn't have to be realistic. To not be real is not
Supposed but not
realistic.
necessarily real or true.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be realistic.
No, but the hypothetical 10th planet, is that realistic?
No, but it
Yeah.
just said it doesn't have to be.
No,
It
but that's
says-
a bad example, right?
What?
That's a bad
That's the
example.
But this is.
No, because could there be a 10th planet? Yeah.
Well, I think you are arguing ad infinitum.
I don't know why you don't want Allah to be able to
Use hypotheticals. I don't think there's a problem with
I'm
that.
Sure you have a
No,
reason.
I don't mind that. Allah can use any argument he
But
likes.
you just saw in the
I'm just
definition
saying
that it said it didn't have to be real.
necessarily real or true.
So-
yes, that's what it says.
My hypothetical was a hypothetical. You said it wasn't realistic, but a hypothetical doesn't have to be realistic.
Yeah, but what's the example? The thing is, the example that they gave, right, is what do you call it? Let's say hypothetically, there's a 10th planet. hypothetically there could be a 10th planet. That is a legitimate possibility.
Could be a what, sorry?
10th planet. That is a legitimate possibility. This is why when people like when we speak to atheists or something and they bring out that spaghetti monster, we just stop taking them seriously. It's not because they're presenting a hypothetical. It's because we understand it as a mockery.
I'm not an atheist, so I'm not mine.
I said when we.
Yeah, okay, I'm just.
Right, I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's how we perceive it.
But going back, I'm just going to end on this. You said
Yeah,
it
I'm
didn't
gonna
have to be
because this is
realistic.
going to go on forever.
I think it does, sorry, but the definition shows
It
it
says
does.
that,
Do you
yeah,
agree?
yeah.
That's what it says. Yeah, but the example it
Okay.
gives.
Well-
So let's leave it at that then. I think we'll just go around.
Yeah, we're going to go around.
That's what I was asking at the beginning.
in that verse,
I'll leave that to
He's
you.
not-
I just wanted to get
That's all right, no worries.
in that verse, he's what do you call it? He's making a mockery of the belief.
That's fine. Yeah. We absolutely see that. Yeah, no worries about that. All right, I'm going to go somewhere and walk because my feet are killing me from standing up for so long.
Thanks for that anyway.
But yeah, that's the chat.